In this video, I'm gonna show you how you can get rich. And this is the real game on how to get rich. I'm not gonna sell you nothing. I'm not going to try to get you to join my webinar or no shit like that. This is 100%, I'm gonna give you all the game. The reason I have to give it in this format, because this is not some shit I can sell. So it's not gonna be easy. You want an easy way to get rich. If you wanna get rich quick scheme, you don't have to look somewhere else, right? If you find it though, let me know. Because I've been looking for one of these motherfuckers for, 40 years now, and I haven't found one. But I've seen a lot of people get rich. I've got rich, and this is exactly what I did, and I'm gonna break it all down for you step by step. Now, I'm assuming that you are a broke motherfucker and you starting from nothing. I'm assuming that you don't have no skills, no money, no connections, maybe even no degree. I'm assuming you ain't got shit. You just a poor, broke searching around the internet for ways to make money, and you found yourself here. If you got any of those things, it's gonna be a little easier for you. If you don't got them, that's cool. This is the game plan. This is what I did, and this is what you're gonna do. This is not easy, but it works, and it will work for everyone who does it. But almost none of y'all gonna do it because most people fucking suck. The average American only has $1,000 in their bank account and is 17 pounds overweight. Motherfucking fat losers in the fucking greatest country of all time and during the greatest time to be alive. And the only reason they can stay alive is because we have a social safety net. That's most of y'all. First step in getting rich is you're gonna start working 80 hours a week. Let me explain this. The average American makes somewhere around $60,000 a year. But according to the Bureau of Labor and Statistics, the average American only fucking works about 38 hours per week. So we're gonna fucking double that, and you should be able to double your income. And when I say work 80 hours a week, if you got a job, then you're gonna get a second job, or you're gonna start driving Uber or Uber Eats or doing deliveries or doing something. You shouldn't start no business if you're broke right now. You're just gonna fucking work. We're gonna trade time for money. Because one thing broke motherfuckers have is time. And you're gonna trade that for money. Initially, you're gonna just work as much as possible. Get jobs on the weekends, part-time jobs. I wish I had the opportunities that you guys have now. In 2007, right before the financial collapse of 2008, my father, he blew his brains out, shot himself in the head. And I had to take care of the whole family, left us with nothing except a bunch of fucking debt and a bunch of motherfucking problems that now I have to solve. I'm the man of the family now. I'm only 24 years old at this time. Even though I had a degree, I couldn't get a fucking job. I couldn't get a good job because nobody was hiring. We had record unemployment. Companies were going out of business. It was the worst recession since the Great Depression. Instead of being a fucking punk and crying, oh, it's a recession, I just fucking worked. I wake up at 4 a.m. I was training people in the morning, and I showered at the gym, worked security at the Prada store for 8 hours. After that, I worked for a moving company. Right now, it's 5 days a week. And on the weekends, I woke up early, trained people, and then I was the weekend manager of a barbecue restaurant. I did that shit between 12 and 14 hours a day, 7 days a week for like 2 years because I refused to fucking be broke. And that's what you guys need to do, right? If you're fucking broke and you ain't got no skills, no connection, no money, if you do got time, you need to invest all that time into fucking coming up. The reason we want to start working more, formula to getting rich, is you make more money than you spend and invest the difference. If you do that over a long enough period of time, you will get rich. For example, if you were to invest $2,000 every month into the S&P 500, which has an annual return of around 10%, after 20 years, you'd have $1.3 million. Now, if you wanted to get that $1 million faster, then you have to either put in more money every month and or pick a vehicle that gives you a higher return. We'll talk about some different ways later in this video. First thing you need to do, before we even get there, you have to make more money than you spend. So you're gonna be working 80 hours a week. So you're doubling your work. You should be able to double your income, or maybe even more. Because those 2 years that I was working 12 to 14 hours a day, I made over 100 grand every year working fucking those blue collarish ass jobs. You should be able to double your income. The key is to not raise your expenses. Now's not the time to start buying fucking diamonds and APs and shit. You still a broke boy. You just making some money. We're trying to get some real fucking dough. So we're going to be investing that money. But you have to make sure you do not increase your standard of living. If anything, we need to lower expenses. So the next step you have to do is start tracking every dollar you spend. If you watch videos from me from like fucking 10, 12 years ago, I used to talk about tracking every dollar I spend in mint.com. That shit went out of business. So now I use this shit called Monarch to track my expenses. They don't pay me no money to shout them out. It's just the best I could find. However, I will take the fucking money if you goddamn nerds are listening. I done shouted you out. It's like 10 fucking videos now. The way I look at it, you motherfuckers owe me some motherfucking money and I'm gonna come collect. You You'll start tracking every dollar you spend. You can hook up all your accounts to it, all your credit cards, all your debit cards. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna start tracking your spending. Make a game out of lowering it. So you want to cut all unnecessary spending. If any subscriptions you have you don't need, motherfucking Netflix, Xbox Game Pass, fucking Pornhub Premium, whatever the fuck you got going on, cancel that shit if you don't need it. We want to lower expenses. Now, check this out. We doubled our output, but right now we're still only trading fucking time for money. Remember the formula. This is the fucking baller formula. Make more money than you spend, invest the difference. That is the baller formula. The next step is you have to save 6 months of expenses. Reason you want that motherfucking safety net to deploy against the shit we about to do. And it should only take like 6 months, fucking half a year. That ain't no time. It sounds like forever for you, but that ain't no time. It takes a baby longer than that to get born. So 6 months, you should have enough savings. Do not upgrade your lifestyle, motherfucker. Don't buy no new shit. In fact, you should be selling shit. After you have 6 months of savings, now it's time to start investing. You're gonna keep working 80 hours a week, and you're gonna use that extra income to invest in some sort of skill that can shift you from making money from your time to making money for your results. This is gonna be either a job or a business that's results-based instead of time-based. Business you start is gonna be results-based, but you can also get jobs that are results-based. For example, sales or something like that. If you're doing sales, you get paid commission, and that's results-based, because we need to get out of time for money, because when you're exchanging time for money, there's a limit on how much money you can make, because there's only so many hours in each day. But results, when I pay somebody for results, I don't really give a fuck how long it took them to get it, as long as I get it. For example, Nima, he edits the videos. He's an independent contractor. He got his own video production shit. And I'm like, yo, edit the videos, homie. And then he starts explaining to me, oh, so I'm gonna do that. I'm like, hey man, stop. I don't care how it happens. Just edit it. I don't care if it takes him fucking 5 minutes or 5 days, right? As long as I get the shit. And he's got other people doing shit, making thumbnails, and I don't even know these niggas, and I don't wanna know them. Hey, you editing this video. I hope we never meet. It's not important to me. The important is the results. Nima's, because he's paid by results. I don't care if he does anything, as long as I get what I fucking need. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna move into something that's results based. I'm assuming your goofy ass ain't have no fucking skills, connections, education. After you have 6 months of savings, you need to immediately start investing into your skill set. You know, sales, video editing, buying ads, in coding or some shit. Motherfuckers ain't probably gonna be doing that in 10 years. Maybe don't go there. The robots are coming for that shit first. So you can move into an industry, either a job or a business, where you can start exchanging results for money instead of time for money. My sales team, they pretty much work the same amount of hours. Some get paid more because they get better results. There's no fucking ceiling on how much money they can make because they just get paid by results. I was talking to them today, my sales team, and I had them set their goals for how much money they wanted to make. I want to make 20,000. Another one said 30,000. Another one was like 40,000. I'm like, yeah. I would love to pay you motherfuckers 40,000. I would love to pay you motherfuckers 100,000, right? Because it's results based. If I'm able to pay them that much, that means they made a whole bunch more for the business. And sometimes a job that's results based is better than having your own business, depending on the person. If you have your own business, you have to do all the marketing. You're responsible for the product or service. You're responsible for the customer service. You're responsible for the sales. You're really responsible for everything. To have something like a sales job, you're only responsible for one thing. You have like all the upside of entrepreneurship. Like my sales guys can pretty much make their own schedule, and they can call their own shots. They can make, there's no cap on how much money they can make, but they only had to do one thing. I had to be in charge of all of this shit, and that's what it's like for an entrepreneur. So you have those two paths. You can either move into a job as results based, or you move into a business, which is, you know, any entrepreneurial endeavor is 100% results based, right? You want to start investing in that skill set. That means courses, that means books, that means hiring mentors. Full disclosure, I fucking mentor people. I've helped people make a lot of money. I'm not trying to sell you the mentorship, right? I'm just trying to sell you on the idea, because I would not be where I am without the mentor. Soon, this is what I was doing. You know, my first business was online training, and I was like, fuck, I don't know how to do this. I had to learn video editing, so I had to buy courses on how to edit videos. I didn't have enough money for a good computer at the time, so I had to fucking learn how to make computers. We didn't have ClickFunnels and Shopify and all this shit back then. I had to take courses and classes on how to build websites. I had to build my first website. I was coding that shit with HTML. And then when I finally started making some progress, I actually hired mentors. One of my first mentors was a dude named Elliot Holtz. He was was one of the first fitness YouTubers who wasn't a fucking dork to get to 1 million subscribers. He was fucking half black and from the hood. So like I related to him and I paid him to mentor me. Then I paid his business partners to mentor me too, right? So I'm a big believer in mentorship. It shortens your learning curve, right? Because experience is the best teacher, but it doesn't have to be your experience. So you want to start investing in yourself. And you can do this as you start your business or as you start moving into the job. You still keep your other job. So you might be working fucking more than 80 hours a week. I was working 80-ish hours a week, sometimes more, at my other jobs while I was starting my business on the side. And you may be thinking, how the fuck did you do that? Did you sleep? Were you able to work out? I don't want to sacrifice my health. In order to have enough time to do all this shit, you're not going to sacrifice your health. You're going to sacrifice almost everything else. You're going to start really planning every hour and every day in your calendar. And I started doing this, I was using Google Calendar. That's what I use now, still to this day. I plan out every hour of every day. Most people waste way more time than they think. There's 168 hours in every week. You can still sleep 8 hours a night, right? That's 56 hours per week. You still got 112 hours left. If you work 80 hours, still 32 hours fucking left. And I know, yeah, you got to use the bathroom. You got to fucking eat food and shit, man. But yo, shut the fuck up, man. 32 hours, you can fucking make some progress. I know, because I fucking did this shit, man. I'm not making this shit up. I promise you, if you start planning every hour of every day in your calendar, you will be amazed at how much extra time you have. And you'll really notice how much time you wasted. We want to start deploying that time against our goals. We're not going to sacrifice our health. If you got a family, don't sacrifice your family. The one thing we will sacrifice is all the other shit. Because during this time, what I wasn't doing was motherfucking bullshitting, going to parties, chasing hoes. I wasn't watching sports. I wasn't going on vacation, playing video games, whatever you motherfuckers do. All I had was time and energy, and I deployed all of it against my goals. If you pick the road to have a job, it might be a little easier. Maybe you'll keep your other job, your main job, that's bring you income. And if you get a job in sales or something like that, something results based, you'll deploy the other time against that. 80 hours is the minimum you should be working if you're trying to get rich. I ain't never seen nobody get rich off just 40 hours a week. Like I just never seen it. That shit don't even happen in the movies. Like we ain't never seen a movie about a motherfucker working 40 hours a week and then he gets rich and famous. Now remember, the baller formula: make more money than you spend and invest the difference. You want to keep investing in the business, right? And you don't want to go full time into your business until you have two things. One, you gotta have 6 months of savings put aside. You'll be able to take more risk, and you'll be able to take those risks confidently because you know, hey man, I can always fall back on this. The second requirement you gotta meet is your side hustle or business needs to be making as much as your job. For example, for me, I had like 4 different jobs and I was starting my online fitness business. Once my business was making enough money to replace one of the jobs, I stopped that. The first one was the moving company because that was like fucking difficult, full body workouts every day. I didn't work less though. That time I was spending at the moving company, I put into my business. So now I'm putting more money into the business and it became more lucrative. And I was able to quit working security. I still kept my weekend job and I still train people. As the business made more money, I was able to quit another job. So your business has to replace the income from the job. You don't start working less. No, you still work 80 hours a week. You just put all that into your business so it keeps becoming more lucrative. The very first investments you're gonna make is into your business. And the reason why is because it's gonna give you the highest return. For example, when I was building my business, I was not investing in fucking stock market, crypto, real estate, none of that shit. I learned Facebook ads. That was another skill I had to learn, right? Because remember, I kept learning new skills, and Facebook ads was one of the skills I learned. I would look at my account and like, oh man, I'm getting 2-3x returns on my ad spend. I should just keep putting the money there. What? Like, I'm not gonna fucking double, triple my money in fucking crypto in a month. So business will always give you the highest returns. However, it's the riskiest. As a general rule, higher returns equal higher risk. Ask anybody who made money off of a meme coin. So because business has a high return, it's riskiest, right? It's the riskiest. That's why it's important to keep learning, keep building your skill set so you become better at it. As business keeps changing, competitors are aggressive, and you want to always keep improving, learning more. So keep investing in your business, keep investing in your education. You can invest in stocks whenever you want. If you had a job, you can do that immediately. If you picked a results-based job, and you can do that immediately. If you picked a business, I think you're going to get the best returns in your business. However, even though I said I was getting 2-3x returns, I couldn't just keep pumping money into it, right? Because there's scaling limitations. So anybody who runs ads know if you fucking pump the budget up too aggressively, too fast, the ads become less profitable. It like breaks it. So that's one thing. But also, even if I could properly run up the ads, there's still supply chain issues. For example, first one was my online fitness company. Then I started a supplement line. For the supplement line, the ads would work. However, we had to make sure we had enough inventory. We can't make sales and then we don't have the fucking product. It takes time for that shit to get manufactured. And then so the margins will work. You have to spend a shitload of money to buy a whole bunch of product. So the price goes down. Also, as you scale, you got to build your team. You can't just infinitely pump money in. So I got to the point where I couldn't put as much money as I wanted to into the business because we just had supply chain issues and scaling limitations. And that's when I really started diversifying my portfolio. That's when I started really investing in the stocks and real estate. All right. Again, we have not gotten to the point where we increase our living expenses. We still keep our living expenses as low as possible. The luxuries don't get bought from money we make working. It comes from our passive income, not our earned income. Earned income is money you make fucking working, grinding. Passive income is money you make from investments. Once you've kind of hit the ceiling of how much you can spend on your business, then you start diversifying. You can do that earlier if you just have a job. Are you still investing your skill set? But you can start investing earlier. If you got a business, you're gonna get the best return on your business. So then we start investing into real estate and stocks. And then you use the profits from your real estate and stocks to fund your lifestyle. That's when I really started increasing my standard of living. It wasn't until I was a fucking millionaire, a multi-millionaire, when I started, okay, let me start buying nice watches, fucking jewelry, designer shit. But I was doing that with the money I made from my investments and not the earned income. Because you want to think of every fucking dollar as ammo in the war that you're waging against poverty, right? And you don't want to waste the bullets prematurely. It's like a seed. The first nigga to ever start balling was like a caveman or some shit who decided to plant the seed instead of eating it, right? He delayed the gratification. Niggas probably thought he was crazy. It's like, yo, man, you putting the seed, and he was eating seeds. Hey, bang. Look at this motherfucker putting the seeds in the ground. Fuck wrong with you, man? You know what I'm saying? And then he was like, nah, man, I'm gonna plant these seeds, and next thing you know, I'm gonna have trees. And these trees gonna bear fruits. Feed my family off these fruits. All right, nigga. All right, whatever, man. We gonna go hunt and gather some more, right? And they kept hunting and gathering. This motherfucker started agriculture. He delayed, instead of eating the seeds, he delayed gratification, and he invented agriculture. Because of that motherfucker, we were able to build fucking cities and civilizations. We didn't have to fucking hunt and gather everything. You got to do the same shit with your money. You know, you want to look at that money, plant that seed somewhere, and then you live off the fruits of that seed. But if you fucking eat the seeds, you gonna stay broke. And that's how I made my first million, right? You got to stay disciplined, make more money you spend, invest the difference. And that's the game plan. That's the structure of the investments. Here's the thing though. This is the part that's going to piss you off. It's going to take about 10 years, right? I don't know exactly when I became a millionaire. I remember being 34. So I think it was around 8 years. 8 years of working 80 hours a week, making more money I spend and invest the difference. Coming from like the fucking bottom, right out the recession, had to take care of the whole family. And I did it. But it was just consistent work, 80 hours a week, keep expenses low, make more money you spend and invest the difference. Now motherfuckers see me with all the shit, they don't know, man, it took fucking 10 years of planting the seeds. And then this is the harvest of that shit. That's the key. You will get rich. Even if you wanted to take the slow route, $2,000 a month at S&P 500, you'll have $1.3 million in 20 years. All right, that's the slow route. You want to speed it up, you make more money, you should have way more than $2,000 if you working 80 hours a week. And then to have an investment vehicle that gives a higher return is your own business. My first business was online training. And now I teach people how to start their online fitness business. I've taught over 15,000 people how to build successful full-time online fitness businesses. I've only got about 10 students who their fitness business is making over $1 million a year out of the 15, right? But there's like thousands who have got into over 6 figures per year. If you want to learn more about how to start your own online fitness business, I got a free ebook called The 10 Commandments of Online Training. It's 100% free, and it'll really break down what it looks like to be an online trainer. And you see if it's right for you, because you may read and be like, shit, I don't want to do this shit. If you love fitness and you love helping people accomplish their goals, you might find it really rewarding. Like it didn't feel like work to me. It still doesn't feel like work to me because I enjoy fitness and I enjoy helping people make transformations. If that sounds like a business you can get excited about, download the ebook and learn more about it. All right.